Thinking here number one, eh? You see, as we carry on, it's actually more irresponsibility than anything else, and it's probably the cause of most of the problems in our lives is irresponsibility. Okay, let's read out of the book quickly. The addict is extremely energetic. He wants action. He wants to move when bored, and has a high level of mental activity directed to a flow of ideas about what would make life more exciting. He does not know how to cope with boredom. Okay. How long in your lives have you expected, or how many times in your life have you expected other people to provide you with entertainment? Life to be exciting. Many times? Right? And you see, that's not someone else's responsibility, that's yours. So if on a weekend there's no sporting activities or nothing happening at the centre or whatever the case may be, does that mean everybody just causes chaos, torments each other, steals each other's stuff, and Monday committee's full? No. No, it doesn't. So it means some part of us can handle boredom, right? Because we're supposed to, number one, and number two, we're going to. But then there are those moments where something exciting happens to come along, something that seems fun, maybe it is fun, it's right around the corner, and I'm going to break the rule if I do this, but I don't care, I'm still going to break it because it's lekker. And that's what we do, because why do people sin? Because it's fun. Yeah. I like sinning. So do you. But because I like it doesn't mean I all of a sudden do it. You get what I'm saying?
True.
Just because I experience it as pleasurable doesn't make it right. Just because she looks good naked doesn't mean I undress her. You get what I'm saying? But that's how we go through it, because this is going to be so much fun right now. I don't care if I'm going to break the rules. This is going to be so much fun. And I go for it, and then it is fun. And then comes a later moment in time, and we get consequences for that fun, and we're like, yeah, man, life sucks, it's so unfair. But you could have avoided the consequences by not engaging in the pleasurable activity that was wrong in the first place. So now we get to be in rehab. Yay! Because we engaged in some pleasurable activities, which was fun. Right, guys? Come on? No. Now we're getting the consequences of the fun times, and it's not fun at all. But we could have avoided this whole rehab experience by not submitting to the fun. If you get what I'm saying, that's what this thinking is about. Okay. Please turn to James chapter 4, verse 17. Before I read that, because I just want to focus on this last sentence. It says here, it's just before the corrective, he does not know how to cope with boredom. Because we don't know how to cope with boredom, does that, or how can I phrase this question? Do we automatically have to fill this empty space of boredom with something? No. But we work very hard too, because yes, it's uncomfortable to be bored. Maybe I'm now faced with what I'm really thinking. I don't know why we do it, right? But the boredom is definitely uncomfortable. But we work so hard, I want you guys to check this, we work so hard to find something to fill the boredom. And it's usually something irresponsible. Something that makes us feel better right then and there, but 9 times out of 10 it's irresponsible. We work so hard at finding a way to do the wrong thing. What if we changed it? What if, okay, cool, there's no definite boundaries in a particular situation, but you apply the same amount of effort you would have done in doing the wrong thing. And you take that effort and you do the right thing. So even if the boundaries are undefined, right? You're not exactly sure what you should do in this situation, but you know what not to do, and then you apply effort to do what you don't have to do. So you apply the same amount of effort in doing the right thing, finding a way. Because, man, I'm pretty good at finding an excuse to do the wrong thing. I can justify it very, very quickly, because my motivation is there for doing the wrong thing. I think, you can see something coming a mile away. So if I get caught for this already, I have that excuse, and that's why I'm doing it. You guys are the same? I hope so. Otherwise this class won't work. I know you guys are. We're all the same. Okay? So imagine we applied the same amount of effort in finding a way to do the right thing. We could miss this whole rehab experience. Okay, we're in it now, but I'm just going a little bit back in time. If we applied that thinking, that effort in that, I wouldn't even know you. You wouldn't know me. It's not necessarily bad. Right? Okay. James 4 verse 17, right? Therefore to the one who knows the right thing to do and does not do it, to him it is sin. Okay, so now there's no definite boundaries. But you guys heard that little voice inside you, your conscience? It sounds just like you. And it tells you what you're doing right now. It's not a good idea. And if you still choose to do it, you're sinning. Charlie, you're looking for something. So if there's no definite boundaries, no black and white, no rule in place in a given situation, but your conscience tells you not to do it and you still do it, you're sinning. So because we're all super clever and we found ways to manipulate systems, but there's no rule that says this, but there is. It's inside you. So whether there's no rule in practice, if you know that you're pushing a boundary, you're probably sinning. In rugby, the rules are if you're on the line, you're out. And I think in soccer you have to be over the line. Okay? But in life we play on the line. If you guys are on the line, you're out. End of story. If it's questionable, maybe I could get it. No, it's not getting away with it. There's no that. You're on the line, you're out. I can try and explain to you guys what boundaries should look like. If this is boundaries and within these fences over here, you've got the freedom to function wherever you need to go, and you can do what you want within these boundaries. Okay, somebody got a matchbox?
Yes. Very far away.
Right? Now, you're playing on the line. And then you get caught out. What happens automatically? You get a smaller box. Now you have to play within this one, while everybody else is playing in this one. then you automatically become the victim because you're looking at what everybody else is doing, but you got yourself this freaking box, man. You get what I'm saying? So if you want to keep the big box, play inside. Lane is 8. Play inside it. Here's your rules, here's your boundaries. You know what comes after this? Smaller one.
That's fine.
Should have started with something before the matchbox. Maybe like this. Okay, these extras. And that's punishment. Okay. So many of you guys function in that box, just keep, this is unfair. Remember, you got this box. Okay. Your irresponsibility will cost you. See, the problem with irresponsibility is it automatically becomes someone else's responsibility. Someone else has to do what you didn't do. Someone else has to pick up the slack. Somebody else has to make sure things still go as they're supposed to go. You get what I'm saying? And that's kind of not fair on the other people, but people do that. People help out. Doesn't make it right. But we have to check. We have to realize that, man, being irresponsible is one of the, probably the biggest thing that keeps us from changing our lives. Now, the first step into becoming a responsible person is doing what? Taking the consequences. That's it. You can take the consequences, you can handle it, do it as good as you possibly can, and learn from that mistake. But as soon as we kick against the consequences, you stay irresponsible. Because you can't avoid it. You can't try and not get consequences. Why do we start lying when we this big? Don't want consequences. Mom and Dad says, did you eat so-and-so's chocolate? No. It was you, but no. Why? Because you know there's going to be some consequence. So rather of being responsible, I'll be irresponsible. I'll say it wasn't me, and then maybe I'll get away with it. But they still know it's you. And we live our lives on decisions like that. You see, getting away with something doesn't make you a responsible person, doesn't change your life. It only gets you the consequences later, with a bigger magnitude. None of you guys have noticed that there's a whale in the kitchen. That every time you do rehab over, it's a longer time. It costs you more. Come. Because the first time, maybe there's something you didn't deal with, something you don't want to take responsibility for. I don't know why we do it over and over again. That's very distracting. Okay? But every single time you avoid the consequences, every single time you don't face up to something, just remember later it's going to cost you more. So if you do right now, and you face the consequences now, and you learn what you have to do now. I'm talking not about just Jericho and rehab in this. I'm talking about, you've made a mistake now, you own up to that mistake and you move on. It saves you in the long run. It makes you stronger. It actually frees you. Okay, if I go back to this box, right? Why are these rules in place? To keep peace. Right? We can't enforce our own rules here, so here at Jericho, we've got rules so that make sure that you guys just don't beat each other up the whole time. Everybody gets to eat, nobody bleeds, and it's a very safe environment. Okay? Because I know if everyone goes and uses all the hot water, we'll probably have a fist fight by the end of Friday. Okay. So create safety. But now what happens if we keep making mistakes and we don't own up and we don't own up and we don't own up and we don't face consequences, all these kind of things, people will give us boundaries, like Jericho does, but they'll give it to you. A very small dose. Because why? And these boundaries will be, I don't know if boundaries would be the right word, but let me put you that way. It will cost you relationships, opportunities, exciting times, I don't know, whatever the case may be. Some experiences that you can't have anymore because you don't want to do what is right back in the day. You know how many birthdays and like the first day of school in grade R and in grade 1 and in primary school, creche and all these kind of things I've missed in my kid's life. Because back in the day I don't want to face up to my things. It was lekker to get away with skipping the consequences, but eventually it cost me. Now, if I had to weigh those things up, would that experience of being at the first day be better than that fun time I had? Yes, by far. By far, even if it was just the one day. But because of irresponsible living, it costs me the valuable things. It costs me the most important things. You see, the opposite is true as well, because for many, many years I've tried to do things differently, and I've also failed miserably in things, but as soon as I've failed, I'm the first to stick my hand up and say I've failed. Because you know what? That kind of behavior gets me the things again. It gets me those important people back in my life. 3 years ago, my mom still didn't really want to have anything to do with me. All of a sudden, she saw I was behaving, and we started building a relationship, and right now we're like this. Better than it was when I was a kid, man. See, I think the main thing is I started understanding the value of a parent, because I became one. Was my mom perfect? No. But she's my mom. And once I started seeing her like that and appreciating her for that, and living a life that's upright, or trying to live it as upright as possible, because it's very difficult, doesn't make it. It doesn't mean that I don't try, because it's difficult. And it gets me the important relationships back in my life. If I was still irresponsible, I wouldn't be married today. If I was irresponsible, I wouldn't have a car. Because I just wouldn't freaking pay the stuff. I'd use it on something else. I wouldn't have a house. And so many times we look at other people and what other people have, but we don't see the character and the behavior that they have to have what they have. There's a lot of haves there. I think you guys get what I'm saying. Okay. Matthew 12, verse 37. Interesting scripture. Okay, it says this: for by your words you shall be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned. What does that mean? Well, there's either two motives, two attitudes of the heart, two behaviors, two characters, whatever the case may be, why we use words that we do. So, you can either be justified by your words or be condemned by your words. Alright? You choose which one. How do you choose it? Well, by the time you say the words, you've made that choice. If you called somebody an ass, you made the choice of being condemned the moment you said those words. So I want to take this back to behavior, to your responsibility. Okay? You chose to, I don't know, break a rule somewhere in life. Some situation, commit fraud in an organization, whatever the case may be. I'm using that because I did that many times. Okay? So I swiped the petrol card for cash earlier. I already chose court case, jail time, everything by that decision. Did I know it was going to come? No. But at the same time, yeah, because I was breaking the rules. I thought I'd get away with it, but didn't. So you guys get what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is, just face up, man. Face up to where we're at. You know, your emotional state is the result of your thinking. So if you're in a bad space, don't change your environment, change your thinking. Change your atmosphere. Because it's not my responsibility, or the person next to you, in front of you, behind you's responsibility to keep you happy, keep you in a good mood, make sure things go lucky. It's yours. Here's life. You're going to get advice that you don't like. People who do wrong are going to get rewarded and stuff before you, and it's going to seem like you come last. Deal with it. That's life. So we can either moan about it all the time, can accept it, and it doesn't get the better of us, and we rise above it. I think I've used the example of being below average, average, and above average. Right?
Yes.
We all want naughty badges because we just become average. It's not an accomplishment to be head boy of average. Sounds heavy, but we have to think properly, guys. You get what I'm saying? We have to think realistically. You have to think, yes, no one owes me anything. No one owes you anything. You earn it. It takes hard work. Sacrifices. Is a person who's irresponsible willing to make sacrifices? No. Is a person who's irresponsible willing to work hard, put in the extra hours, put in the extra effort? No. Become responsible. I want to show you guys something. Turn to Genesis chapter 1. I'll end off with that. Verse 26. Okay, then God said, let us make man in our own image according to our own likeness. Let them rule over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the sky, over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. And God created man in his own image, in his own likeness. He created them male and female. And God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the sky, over every living thing that moves on the earth. Okay, so He gave them responsibility. This is before sin. The reason man was created is to be responsible. So it is supposed to reign over everything. Chapter 3. Verse 1 says, now the serpent. Okay, let's define serpent. Animal. Okay, serpent defined. Animal. Okay, what did God say animals do? Reign over all the animals. Okay. Now the serpent was more crafty than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, indeed God has said, you shall not eat. Indeed has God said, you shall not eat from any tree of the garden. And the woman said to the serpent, from the fruit of the trees of the garden you may not eat. We may eat, but from the fruit in the tree which is in the middle of the garden, God said, you shall not eat or touch it, or you will die. And then the serpent said to the woman, surely you shall not die, for God knows that in the day you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Okay, when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, okay, the proper response was supposed to be like this. Hey, serpent, voetsak. You get what I'm saying? Because them was given the authority. They had the authority, they had the right, they had the dominion, they had everything because God gave it to them. It was their responsibility to keep it safe. Now, they neglected their responsibility, which means they were irresponsible. And what happened? Sin. Just like that. So, irresponsible living is a sinful lifestyle. See, I set you guys up for the first. You cannot change your life, you live irresponsibly. Alright, let's pray. Father, I thank you for this class. Lord, man, help us to just find ways, just always find a way instead of finding an excuse. Because God, it's so easy just to find a reason to not do something, an excuse why we can't. It's just too easy, Lord. Just give us the character and the nature that we don't settle for easy, we want hard, we want difficult, we want tough, because that's the person and the people that we are. Maybe then, God, I do believe that we'll appreciate it once it's really cost us something. And we'll value it. Because it starts to mean something. Pray for every single guy alone, every single lady. Just really ask, man, Holy Spirit, that you just ingrain it in their nature that they're going to have to be tenacious. It's going to cost them something. Sacrifices are going to have to be made, but it will be worth it. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.